record.
Bye-bye. Gotcha.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 152, which is one more than our last episode, which probably was my favorite episode we've ever done.
That's good.
That was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've heard, I've gotten some feedback for it so far.
My favorite episode was the early 70 range when Ronnie Fulton joined our podcast. That's been my favorite.
Has it been that long?
That's when the podcast started to go downhill, if you ask me.
That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
So in other news, Jason's moving to Off the Cut podcast.
Yeah. That's the business.
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go down that gutter.
No. Let's do the giveaway stuff real quick.
Okay.
Because we are actually drawing a name tonight for another one of the Woodpeckers mini squares.
Thank you, Woodpeckers. Check this out, guys. Those mini squares are awesome. I think they're like got a value of like $39.95 or something. This is wicked cool.
Yeah.
And it comes in the designer MDF.
I'm pretty sure they're like $1
case.
million a piece.
No, $495 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
The MDF case is included.
Yes. Yeah.
This month we do have a new sponsor for our giveaway, and it is not like our other giveaways. It is actually a patron, and they're trying to get some more visibility on their Facebook group called the Woodworking Deals Online, which again you can find on Facebook, and it's Matt and his buddy Andy, who basically just post really good tool deals all day long. They keep an eye out for things that they use, and if they come up and they see one of those tools on sale, they just post it there, and they have over like 20,000 members. But they asked, hey, we'd love to sponsor one of your guys' giveaways. So they've decided to give us 4 $50 Amazon gift cards, which is great because go sign up for Woodworking Deals Online, and then you can use that gift card if you win and buy something that they post, which is really nice. So huge thank you to them. Woodworking Deals Online Facebook group. Go check it out. And we have 2 new patrons in the last 5 days, everybody.
Wow.
That have a chance to win one of those said gift cards or our mini square here in just a moment. And that is Philip Arena became a tool sharpener.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. Welcome, Philip.
Welcome, Philip. And then we also have Bob.
Oh, Bob. How do you spell that backwards?
Yeah.
Bob.
Is it B-O-B or backwards B-O-B?
It's Bob Race Car.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, I just saw your pussy cat in the background.
Did you really?
Yes.
Does that mean we have to make this explicit now?
No.
No. Okay. Because you're talking about the cat.
No.
Yes.
No. Yeah, I just came in. Whenever I open the door, come in the shop, he thinks I come in just to feed him. So he's walking around looking for food, I think, right now.
That's Tom Silva, right?
Yes, Tom Silva.
Meow Silva.
He guards the boat.
Did Bob give a last name?
Nope, it's just Bob.
Hey, Bob. Welcome, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Welcome to the party.
Bob.
And good luck, Bob, because you just became a patron 20 hours ago, and now you might have your chance to win. Let's spin the wheel and see who's going to get this wonderful.
What level is Bob?
Woodpecker tool sharpener. Same.
Tool sharpener. Welcome, Bob.
Right. Yeah, tool sharpener.
Bob.
All right.
He might just find himself with a mini pecker.
The winner, the mini pecker. Yeah. Congratulations, Mr. Joseph Murray. You are now the proud owner of a mini pecker.
Oh my God.
With a case.
Ronnie, I thought I was bad.
And a woodpecker square.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, Joseph Murphy. Great job. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Hey, everybody listening. Be patient. I'm getting addresses from Jason. I'll get stuff shipped out to you.
Yes, sir. All right. Well,
and I just want to thank everybody at Woodpeckers for giving us these giveaways.
Yes.
Woodpecker.
Awesome.
Woodpecker. Then again.
Thank you to all of our patrons, all of our listeners, but especially to our patrons. And to say thank you, we keep doing these wonderful giveaways. So if you guys want your chance to win these monthly giveaways, weekly giveaways, all giveaways, go to patreon.com/Green Suiters podcast and become a patron.
You know,
Jason, just because I want to hear you say it, what's my favorite type of chips?
Salt and vinegar.
vinegar.
So this weekend it was Max's birthday party, and he goes, "Do you ever realize when you say vinegar, you have to keep your mouth open?" So he goes, "Vinegar," and you know what?
You have to
Today
pause.
someone said, "Is it carbide?" And I went, "Carbide." I guess I opened my mouth. Vinegar.
It's like almost like you're waiting for a reaction to the way you say vinegar.
Vinegar. Vinegar.
You got to stay there. Pause.
Yeah. Minimum 2 seconds.
You know, I used the mini square this just about 2 days ago when I was using my joiner, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, on the second pass that you're getting a 90-degree when you flip it. And I grabbed it, and it's a really good one to use for that, because that's all you need is that much surface area when you're doing like a 1.5, 2-inch piece.
I love setting up machines with it. You know,
Yeah, I
fences.
use it for that.
Just a quick verification. Hey, that's at 90.
Yeah.
Even
they're
blades, saw blades. You know.
They're handy. I just highly recommend. I have a place on my apron for one. It's really not, if you don't have it on you, you don't use it quite as much, because then you're having to go find it or look for it, but it's really nice to have it.
Hey, what apron do you have?
I have a leather by Dragonfly.
Wow. Is this fully like sponsored podcast from all our people?
I get
Basically.
asked about once every 1.5 weeks where I got my apron. I would say it's 1.5 weeks.
Everybody wants to know where I get my pouch.
Yeah, I bet. It's people, they see things they like and they ask.
They are going to be participating in the Green Suiters Con.
Awesome.
Which I don't know if you guys noticed this, but today it is officially 1 month out.
Really? Wow. Sedge is blowing up with fireworks in the background.
Fireworks. Boom.
Fireworks.
Wait a minute.
Fireworks.
Hey, and also on that note, I noticed the other day the People Bridge, Purple People Bridge, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Has an Instagram page.
Does it really?
Instagram page. Yeah. I think it's called the Purple People Bridge. And I was on there, and it talks about the status of everything, the events they're having, everything. We've talked about the bridge and if it was going to be closed or not on the other end, but they actually have a web page and an Instagram page. I think it's called the Purple People Bridge, and that's directly behind where Green Suitor Con.
I actually walked across and it was closed with that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that will update us. There's a web page and it will know what's going on with it. They did say that they're doing work, and I assume that work is probably to be ready for Oktoberfest, is what I would guess.
Boy,
so
I would
they posted the work that's going on there right now, so that's good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But even if it was closed, we still can walk all the way to the other side.
There's another bridge right there.
Yeah.
And people were going around the chain link fence, so it is still technically open even when it's closed. So
yeah, if you're a rule breaker.
Yeah. Which we're not.
Sedge, do you know what happened? What started yesterday? Or maybe it was Saturday. They broke ground for the new Ale Emporium.
Oh, be still my heart.
I actually just drove by. The whole area has been graded out and leveled. It's right across the street from from Max's daycare, which is going to be very dangerous.
Oh my God.
Because now Nicole and I are going to be like, why don't we both go pick up the kids?
Yeah,
oh, well, we might as well have dinner at Ale Emporium tonight.
That is dangerous.
I can tell you, being 3 minutes from Country Boy has been very dangerous for me.
Yeah.
It's like where your choice is to go. You're like, I'm going there.
Guys, I'm a 9-minute walk down to Moontown. Give me a break.
Yeah.
That is like, and they just opened up their second tap room in Carmel. Moontown did. No food. It's kind of cool. It's a tap room. But they also are going to open up another one in Nashville, Indiana. because
Mm.
that's a real great place in the fall and spring and summer because it's
I
really
did not know there was more
it's-
than one Nashville.
oh yeah, Nashville, Indiana, and it's
Didn't know
just
that.
so daggone beautiful. It's part of the Brown County Covered Bridge Festival. That's where everybody goes down there.
Okay.
I think that's where it is. But I'll tell you what, when you go down there during leaf peeper season, it's packed. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Leaf peeper.
Yeah, peepers. Yeah, that's what we call them up in Maine. Flatlanders, peepers. Hey, what's everybody doing tonight? This is great. Back together again. Boy, last week was fun, wasn't it?
Was.
Yes.
What a
Um,
history of Gershner.
Yeah, I've gotten some messages from people that were they said they really, really enjoyed the episode. They thought it was really interesting. Of course, Patrick did. You know, he was here this weekend. So he listened to it through Patreon on the way down here. And he thought it was really, really cool.
Patrick was at your house?
Yeah, you didn't see him? Maybe I had him
No,
locked
I
in
only
the,
saw Michelle. I thought she left him at home.
Yeah, I think I locked him in the closet while everybody was here.
Oh,
He
that's
was
what it
out
was.
front, had that table set up selling mouse pads out on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Next to Leo selling lemonade.
He's such a marketer.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of marketing, you know what he left around our house and in my shop more? Coasters, stickers,
Posters. Oh yeah.
everywhere.
He's got to give them. He's got to give them to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Like every once in a while, I'll just randomly look up and boom, there's a Leather by Dragonfly thing. I'm like, come on, Patrick.
Leaving his mark. He's tagging your house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's tagging
Well, he
Better
gave
than
like
spray
he gave
paint.
like 20 stickers to Max, like in his little toolbox that got him for his birthday. I'm like, great. And then of course Leo grabs them and he's like wants to stick them everywhere all over the house. I'm like, dang it,
See,
Patrick.
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That was called contracting.
Everywhere I do a story, you'll see a Leather by Dragonfly sticker in the background.
He was subbing out the installs.
Yeah.
Kind of like I always do the Easter eggs on Dirk with Dayton on Festool Live now.
Yeah.
By the way, Dirk, when I see you, bring plenty of stickers. I'm running out of stickers.
Dirk from
Does
Dayton.
he make your stickers?
No, Dirk from Dayton has his own
Yeah.
sticker,
Oh, his own. Yeah, okay.
and I
You
do it.
said you were
I'll
running
lift
out.
up on Festool Live. I'll lift something up, and I go, see how nice this is, and I'll have a Dirk from Dayton sticker on it.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen it
kind of
once.
funny.
You
Never
opened up
mind.
a case once and it was in there or something. You opened up
Yeah.
a container. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
Good times.
Something
Well-
to do. Easter eggs.
Ronnie, what have you been up to? You said you had to
been-
race to get back here in time.
Yeah, I had an install today in Louisville, which is about 50 minutes from me, about 55 minutes. But on the way back, it was pretty much like rush hour traffic. So I was weaving in and out, taking the back roads, and I had to wait to project to you all even when I would be there because I was waiting until I got the outskirts and where it was kind of more I could estimate. So it was pretty close. I think I was within 2 minutes. I said 10 minutes late, but normally not late. I like to usually be back plenty of time and not stressed, but Cameron gets out of school now. He's co-oping with me. So he gets out of school at like 11:51 and I'm all packed up, ready to go. And we jumped on the road and knew it was going to be tight, but we were able to get it done. We did a screen install and
Oh, cool.
that was good. We've got 7 to do this week. So that's 1.
7?
We have 7 to do this week. Yeah.
7 different customers?
3 different customers, 7 screens.
7 screens total.
Yes. Yes. We've talked about before, but I wish I could do a better job of leveling the work. But no matter how much I try to level the orders, it seems like they come in batches. Like I'll send, 1 week apart, 3 different orders, and they all come on the same day, last Friday. So then you're sitting there scrambling, trying to get them all installed because if they would have came week by week, I kind of do it the way it should be. So it's gonna be a really stressful week. It's gonna be a really busy, stressful week, and not starting my work day until Cameron gets out. Like installing, I'll be doing plenty before he comes, but I've got to kind of be ready to go, loaded each day, ready for him to jump in and let's go.
Are any of them far away, like Louisville?
Well, the best part is the next one we have is in our neighborhood, which is awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So he'll be able to meet me there. I'll just go on to the job site and he'll just come and meet me there. The other one's like 10, 15 minutes away, 15 minutes away. So he could
cool.
drive to that one too. So we'll see on that one.
Hmm.
But it'll be good after this week to get those knocked out. You got a visitor.
Yeah, Tank's in the room.
Just see how that split second and Nicole's pulling him out of the way.
You're so freaking cute.
I got some new tools that I'm trying out, testing
Oh.
out. I don't think I can talk about them yet, but I do have some new tools.
Well, way
I'm
to get our
trying out.
hopes up.
I do have some of those, and I've been spending some time with that, getting used to those. What else? We've been working on the boat. I've got the skeg on. You can see it behind me. See it right
Yeah.
there? And that piece, without a track saw, that would have been very hard to make because it starts at 3/4 inch. It goes for about 12 feet and grows to about 2 inches on this side, on the other side. And it's a slow, really slow, gradual pitch where it grows and then it comes off. And Cameron even asked me, he goes, what would we do if we didn't have a track saw? And I was like, well, I had to think about it for a minute. I was like, probably a circular saw and then clean it up with a plane would be what I would do.
Yeah.
But I had to think about it because before track saws, what would you, I mean, you could have a tapering jig, but that's so long, you know?
Yeah. How long is it?
I'd say that's 12, like 12 and a half feet long.
Yeah, I was thinking you could technically you could like try to do it on a jointer.
Tell everybody what that is, Ronnie.
The skeg is I call it the fin on the bottom of the boat. It's like if you looked at the bottom, it starts small at the front of the boat, bow, it starts 3/4 inch and it stops proud of the end. It just kind of goes in the middle, but stops 2 feet from the end, the transom side of the boat. But it's just I call it like a fin. It kind of directs the water and makes it be stable. But I really couldn't answer him when he said, what would you do before you have track saw? I was like, I just think it would have been more finishing.
Yeah.
And like I heard you say joiner, that is something you could do. You could have,
but it's so long though.
you could block one side and keep running it through. But for me, I guess the only thing I know is I would just use a circular saw, cut as close to the line as I could, and then just kind of clean it up with the longest plane that I had. That's probably what. When we ran it through the router table, we did a 1/4 inch round over on each side on the top part all the way down, and that was easy. And then it's epoxied down with 4 screws. It's really interesting. The plans were drawn up in the 1950s, and I finally found some people on the forums that were saying things that made a lot of sense. On the plans, it says to screw these in every 6 inches all the way down with bronze, 2.5 inch screws. And that seemed like overkill to me. And somebody pointed out there were not epoxies in the 50s. So you got to remember that when you're putting epoxy down. So I used 4 screws, like one every 2.5 feet, 3 feet range. And it's plenty. Those just acted as clamps. And then those will be filled with mahogany. But I set it down in a bed of thickened epoxy. And then once it did the squeeze out, I used like a old gift card, hotel room card with that little curve on it. And I went down each side while it was still, like not cured at all. And it cleaned it up perfectly, gave it a perfect little round over where it meets. So it worked out. I let that be one of his first days co-op. That's what we did when he came. And I allowed like 4 hours. We got it knocked out start to finish in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it went well. Other than that, it's got the epoxy, 2 coats of the epoxy undercoat. And then all we have to do is that white layer one time rolling around and we're ready to flip it. It's there.
So do you have that blue paint masked off?
Yes, it's taped.
Okay.
I've got 3M, like the 3M blue painter's tape that has like the 3 feet of plastic attached. I had some of that and I used that to when I did the priming, when I sand this epoxy coat, lightly sand it, I just didn't want all that dust to go down on the painted surface.
Cool.
So that's I made one little mistake on the top where the white is. It was called Total Protect. It was called Total Protect, and this was a Total Boat product, and can's still wet.
Nice.
Turned it around, I got it on my
Nice.
finger. The Total Protect, it acted like it says barrier coat and everything, and I thought, okay, that's what I need because I already had primer. Turned out this is a 2-part epoxy primer, and you still have to have a top coat on top of that. So we were going to flip it this weekend, and I found out that I still had to put another coat on top of that. And then I have trouble. It's really hard to find white bottom coats for boat. Most of the time it's maroon, black, gray, and green are the colors you see a lot
Yep.
of times.
Teal.
Yeah, that color too. So I had to find that, locate that, and ordering stuff like that. It's not like Amazon. Usually you can't get that in like Prime, or it usually takes a few days to get that kind of stuff because they're not allowed to ship some of it. I think some of it has to be ground shipped. So that slowed me down a little bit, but it's came in and I just need to apply it so we can get this thing flipped. So we're almost there.
Do you think after you flip it, it's going to take longer to do the next part than it did the first part?
What I love about when we flip it is you can work on more than one thing at a time. Like someone could be working on the floorboards while somebody else working on the wiring. Someone could be working on the dash detail. While there's a lot of things that can be worked on simultaneously. Up to this point, there was nothing you could do. Like if you stop on a product, you can't say, "Oh, well, I'll work on this." There was just you have to go by the book, which has been hard for me because I don't usually like to do that kind of thing. So I love it when we flip it. If I don't feel like working on something, I can work on another part of it. That will be nice.
Very cool.
But there'll be a lot more to see, I think, when it flips.
I just can't wait till you're done with this boat. It's like listening to somebody talk about drywall all the time.
Yeah, right now it has been drywall. Gosh, that part has been,
practically drywall.
Here's something too. Reflecting back, the whole reason why I went solid color on the side, and I'm sure I said it, was I was trying to reduce the time that we spent on it to that step. Looking back, Cameron and I both agree it's called clear. Like when you make a boat be clear and finish with clear. I think we would have been done faster with this part if we had just made it solid wood on the side. I think it would have been faster because it was more like drywall doing this stage. I think I probably would have done that if I had to over, but I like the looks of this better, like with the wood on the top. I think the solid color on the side will make it less homemade. When a boat is like completely wood, people automatically think, "Oh, it's a homemade boat." But this will be almost a little bit more look like it could have been a factory boat that has the wood, all the details. So I'm kind of running that fine line, but I've said it before, man, this is the one I'm learning on. And if we did another one, it'd be so much easier. There's just been so many concepts and coatings and epoxies that I've had to learn about all that. And I'll give you a perfect example. I watched New Yankee Workshop sometime on YouTube. He was doing the flagpole, which I've seen that one probably twice. I think at least the flagpole. Have you ever seen the one where it's one of the later ones? It's one of the ones I would say like the latest seasons. He makes a flagpole in like somewhere in Rhode Island area or Maine, and it's a glue up of, and I saw it and I was like, this is kind of like building a boat. I want to see what he uses. He goes for the West Systems epoxy. He used the thickeners, and it's funny because I've watched that at least twice before, and I always just didn't pay attention on the epoxy part. I was like, whatever on that. But now I'm watching
use that.
Now I'm looking at what number he's using. I'm like, oh, there it is. He's using it, So I'm watching with new eyes things that he built, the outdoor stuff. I used to ignore that kind of product, and he was using it back then. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
If y'all haven't ever seen the flagpole one, it's pretty interesting.
I actually have not seen hardly any episodes of that show at all. I know you guys were big fans.
Does he put it all together as segments? Then does he doesn't do any turning on it, does he?
No, he it's kind of like a square one in a way.
Yes, okay. I know.
It tapers. And the coolest part is he put 2 posts out of the ground, like 3 feet, and he puts a pin through there so that he can raise the whole pole.
Oh, it's that cool.
And so you put a pin in there to lock it on the bottom. But if you want to bring the whole flagpole down, you can.
I'm gonna watch it.
Pull the pin. It's pretty cool.
They have almost all the episodes on YouTube now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. But that was I brought that up because it's really cool to watch things I know I've watched before, and the way that you pay attention to something more after you're familiar with whatever it is, the tool, the product, you watch it with a different kind of eye when you've done it before or you have been trying to learn about it.
Yep.
And I think that's what's so good about if you watch the Yankee Workshop, somebody that doesn't have any tools, has no plans of building it, will watch it, and it will be slightly entertaining to them, I think, versus somebody who does it. They're watching total different things. They're watching what's in the background. They're watching what product he's
Oh.
using. They're watching all of that.
How
There's
people hold their
layers.
work, how people hold their work, how they
Yes.
use something,
Yes.
their technique, their posture. Oh,
Yes.
that's how you do that, and you pay attention a little bit more. Absolutely.
Jason, I think you would find it interesting in that the lack of dust collection,
Hmm.
on especially the earlier shows, um, and just I would almost say the crudeness of the tools that he's using, and it shows how you don't have to have the best of everything to build
Oh, for
what he
sure.
builds.
Yeah.
I mean, he pulls off things with it's like 80s type tools, 90s type tools. Not he started using, more like advanced as his show went on. But in the beginning, I mean, he was building like things with just the most basic tools. It's really cool.
He uses a radial arm saw a lot.
Yes. Yeah, he does. He does.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to put one of those in my shop this next year.
Yeah. Well, when you get a boat, it makes a good anchor.
Yeah. Who was it that I was watching this weekend on the YouTubes? Mike Farrington, maybe.
I think I've seen him on
He
there
he
before.
he still runs an old radial arm saw for all of his cuts. He's very talented.
Man, a dado stack, that's a way to go. You can plow out
Yeah,
some
doesn't
quick.
Dusty, he has
I
that
think Dusty has one. Yeah.
King Canada or King International tool or whatever the heck it
Mhm.
is. Yeah, and it like turns, the head turns and stuff. It's nuts.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, they're cool. They are cool.
So, Sedge, you bet any up to anything special?
Yes, I attended a killer birthday party this weekend from my main man Max. Thank you so much. It was great getting together with everybody. I had an absolutely phenomenal weekend because I did little or nothing, and I hung out with Marianne all weekend, and it was perfect. I had a little downtime on Saturday. Saturday morning, I talked with a really good friend of mine for a couple hours. Then we went to the birthday party, came home, chilled with Marianne in the background. Of course, Sunday morning, Chris was over. We shot another video. What was cool is we just dropped the Grex video,
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
the original micro pinner that I got from them because it shot an inch at 3/8. I've had it for 16 years, and I just started thinking, when did I get this? And then I went, oh my god, I've had it for 16 years. And then I read an article about this new one that came out, and I was like, oh my god, that pinner has been out for 20 years because before that, everything shot 1 inch. The Portacable Pin 100s I had two of those. I had the original Senko because Senko was the first one that come out, micro pinner, 23 gauge. And then I bought, and then I didn't buy it because Lee gave it to me at the Woodcraft Fender show. He gave me that. He goes, Sedge, I wanted to give you this at JLC, but you took off too quick. And I go, oh, he goes, I want you to test this. Yeah, whatever. They have an automatic lock off on it, and the edge guide on it. So we dropped the video, and Jason, I told you it's been really slow. My God, did it take off?
Oh, good.
So we get like 4,500 views, I think, in 24 hours or something like that, a little over 24 hours. So I was pleasantly surprised. But here's what's really cool: anybody who's creating content, I always go by when the tide is in, all ships rise. I had a real sluggish summer, but I have a video that's also taken off because of it. I think everybody was on vacation all summer. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think everybody was on the golf course. They were fishing.
Yeah.
They were up to camp because
Yeah.
things are starting to click again. And Jason, remember I talked to you on Saturday and I said, yeah, it's been dead. And you said, no, it's starting to tick up.
Mhm.
And boy, because we dropped that video, it's ticking up. So it's really cool. So it's a lot of fun. And I just been going back and cleaning up all kinds of some of the media I have. And I've been doing a lot of computer work. In the shop, I'm constantly tweaking everything. I just love being in the shop. We got killer weather this week, and I'm so daggone busy at work right now because I don't know if I ever talked about this on the podcast about you know, I does everybody know I work for Festool during the day?
You do?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Probably was Black and Decker.
Interesting.
Not Black and
But
Decker.
hey now, hey now. But what's funny is I get stuff way in advance, you know, and I mess around with it, and sometimes it doesn't ever come out, or everything gets held back sometimes. Well, I'm also held back for public announcements, or, you know, Ronnie, you know this. August 13th, you were able to start talking about the exoskeleton, and I'm held to that too. It's called end user communication. But boy, last week I did the Chip and Hammer, the new KHC18, and this week I'm doing the XO. So my whole thing is I gotta putting on the XO a couple times. I almost knocked myself out because I got to get used to putting this thing on. You know what I'm talking about, Ronnie? I got clocked last week with one of those arms. And you know what though? I did. I almost knocked myself out. I was like, whoa. Because my frame is different. But what I like about doing this is now I love doing this. I'm doing it live. And hopefully I don't knock myself out. But two, I get to have fun showing people about a really cool tool. You know, it's not for.
Look on my shoulder.
What is that?
That is a horsefly.
Get the frick out. That thing is more like a monster.
I know.
That's a horsefly or a cicada?
That's a
No,
horsefly.
that's a horsefly.
Those things hurt too when they bite.
Boy, I get welts on my back. We have them that big in Maine. He was
He was on the door when I came in. He was on the glass buzzing. I didn't think he'd come over and see me.
So that's Ronnie, that's right out of Jumanji, dude.
Oh man. Okay, sorry to cut you off.
No, that's even better.
I wouldn't have known he was on my shoulder if I didn't see it on the screen. I saw some pterodactyl thing laying on my shoulder, and I was like,
that thing's massive. So I get to debut on Festool Live this week, XO, and I can't wait, because all week, that's my whole week, is prepping for this and getting it right. And then next week I'll do a second episode on applications and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun, and I get to talk about it now. Yeah. And we got some really cool stuff coming out. So yeah. Hey, did any of you guys get those new sustainers?
The new sustainers,
the Sys racks, the Sys minis. Oh no, maybe I misspoke. That's coming out too this fall, but it's just starting to filter in now. Some cool stuff, man.
I saw Ali post about it. He did a post on Instagram.
Yep. Yeah, him and his wife are gonna be in town.
Tommy got him.
Booked.
Tommy got him. Yes.
Tommy got him?
He got him. I watched him go up the stairs. He reached up with his claw and he grabbed him. He's got him in his mouth right now. He's getting ready to walk. Look, he's got him in his mouth.
Oh, your armrest is there. Oh, look.
Oh, he's eating. He's eating it.
He's eating the horsefly.
Yeah. Oh, it's crunching. It's crunching.
Oh, wow.
See,
now I bet you're glad you have that cat now.
I know it. That's awesome. See, I don't have to be paranoid anymore. That's cool.
Holy moly. Now you just got to teach him how to get snakes.
Yeah, well, I've never had any in this. That's in I call the gravel side. This one, hopefully, is sealed up. Yeah, I let him in that side sometimes. Just
he actually ate the horsefly.
Yes, he did. How was that,
dude? Do you feed him?
Oh yeah, he's a big time eater.
Do you feed him?
You feed him? He's already done.
He really ate that frick. Now he's licking his paws.
Yeah.
I want that cat.
Pretty cool. All you got to do is feed him and he just eats away. Yep.
That's a real country cat right there, dog.
Cameron found him at our rental house a little over a year ago. It was a kitten. He had fleas all over him and he was under a bush at our rental house. And we asked everybody around and they were like, no, we don't know whose it is. So that's how we ended up with him. Tommy came back and
that's how we ended up with our cat.
Yeah.
Found her on the side of a road, just playing.
That's how we ended up with Marianne.
Yeah. She found you on the side of the road?
Oh, no, actually, I was sleeping up under a overpass by Los Olas Boulevard in Intercoastal, and she was walking by, and I was taking a nap up above there.
It was nice of her. She took you in.
Love at first
She took
sight.
me in. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She had to shower me up and stuff and clean me up. She
Right.
threw me in the Intercoastal. Gave me
Shave your
a
back.
scrub. I gave me a scrub brush, some soap. She goes, meet me over at the car. So I said, okay.
It's a good story. It worked.
Yeah. It's love at first bite.
Love it
Hey.
first stench.
Mr. Bent, what have you been up to?
A whole bunch. I feel like before we started the podcast, there was a lot of things that I want to talk about. I do want to discuss briefly after this some thoughts that I had on IWF because we did not talk about it last week because we had our wonderful guest Kim on the podcast. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
last week I got started on the nightstand that I'm building for Rick and Melinda's daughter.
Yep.
Miss Mary. And it's funny because I started to do a particular design that was kind of based off the pictures that they had originally sent. And then I saw her at your house the day after I milled up the stock for the legs and glued them up. And we decided to go something completely different. But it worked out good because I wasn't too far along in the project. And I also was still able to use the leg stock in it. So it worked out really well. But what I'm building now, I actually like a lot more. So with this project, so for those listening that don't know, I don't really do client work anymore, but if I have friends that ask to have something built and it's a cool opportunity, then obviously I want to help them out. So that's what I'm doing. Just a single nightstand, white oak. I will be doing a YouTube video about it. But what I wanted to do on this project was challenge myself to use the Shaper Origin for certain aspects of the build. One of those things being learn how to do a mortise and tenon with the workstation. And I want to do some cool box joinery for the drawer box. So I've been messing with this machine. And I think that the Shaper Origin it's one of the coolest inventions I think made in any of our lifetimes. Like it's so amazing to me that machine can do what it does with me moving it.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I screw up and I move too fast or I move too slow or I go outside of the lines, it still turns out perfect. I do not understand, but I absolutely love it. So much so that I think I've decided that I'm going to, here in the very near future. So I'm building this nightstand and then I'm building a chessboard for my friend. And that chessboard, I'm also going to see how can I use the Shaper Origin on this project. But I want to go to Shaper Hub, find a project that somebody has posted that looks really cool, and I want to build that project. It's like just a Shaper Origin project.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the pieces are cut with the Shaper Origin, all the joinery is cut with the Origin.
There's some amazing stuff on Hub.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was looking there today and I'm
What
like,
a
holy
great-
cow, man, this is some cool stuff. So I'm just so amazed by that tool. I was talking about this on my stories today. Like, it's similar to what I did with the Lamello. Like I forced myself to use the Lamello on this project here. Like however many times I can use it on this project, I'm going to use it. And it changed the way that I thought about the machine. I mean, I did that with the domino a long time
I
ago.
did that with the domino as well.
Yeah, like
Same thing.
let's not just use dominoes. Let's try the connectors. Let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. So, really enjoying being in the shop, building something that's not a cabinet, which is nice. Filming has been okay, but that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, Patrick was here, and one of the only times that I ever watch YouTube is when I'm with Patrick. either he's here or I'm at his house. And like Patrick watches every video on YouTube. So he he has it on here when he's here and we watch stuff. But I found all these people that I didn't know existed. And we came across like a couple of Japanese woodworkers that like do videos where they don't talk. Ishitani, we watched a bunch of Ishitani furniture videos.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of Ishitani?
It's a what?
Ishitani.
He doesn't
No.
speak. It's just
Yeah,
watching.
It's
Spell
a
it.
Japanese guy. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't spell it. ISHA.
Itchy what?
Ishitani. Ishitani.
ISH Tani.
Tani. Yeah. Yeah. If you search it, you'll find it. It's a Japanese guy, has really cool pictures in the thumbnails. He was one, but we watched like a few different, and one I was just amazed by like all these little cool techniques and tips that I was learning. But these particular videos didn't have anything but the noise of what's going on in the shop. Kind of like Nick Padula used to do back in the day.
Oh, there's a Japanese girl called Wood Girl. Have you ever seen her?
Mm-mm.
Check it out.
Yeah. Well, what I found very fascinating about it was I felt like I was way more interested in what I was watching because I wasn't focused on somebody saying what they were doing. I was just seeing the process. There was no sped up shots.
Mhm.
There were times where it was kind of dry, but it felt
Yeah.
like every time I got to that point, the scene changed. It was just done really well. And it gave me a thought. Like, you guys know I don't like doing build videos on my channel because they just don't do anything for me. And I was talking to Patrick about it. I'm like, this kind of makes me want to try. If I'm going to do build videos, I would actually enjoy making that video because I don't have to do the voiceover, which is the worst part of a build video.
Yes.
But why not try it out and see how it goes? And from now on, like if I do build videos, people know, okay, my build videos aren't going to have any talking, but all of the other instructional videos I do, will. So I don't know. I think I'm going to try it out.
Go ahead, Sedge.
Have you ever seen the guy? He doesn't talk, but he goes to his scrap bin and pulls out all this 2x material. And you see my bookcase behind me? He makes books, okay, out of scrap 2x material, and he carves them. I went down a rabbit hole watching some of the stuff this guy does, and it is he is an incredible artist / craftsman / savant. The guy is amazing. Great editing on the videos. I totally know where you're coming from, Jason, because there's no voiceover. You just watch what he does, and he doesn't have all the expensive stuff. It's all hand tools, so I'm really digging it. But the way he shapes the ends, and then he'll make a stack of books on another video, but you can open it up and it's storage. I forget who this guy is, but it's absolutely
That's a good use of scrap.
And it's awesome. And I'm inspired by it. Just watching some of the talent out there, and it doesn't have to be a lot of talking.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I just found fascinating about it. It was I was way more interested in what I was watching because I felt like you know what it reminded me of? This is going to sound silly. It reminded me of turning.
Oh yeah.
Because when I came into your shop and you were teaching me how to do that, I will never forget how in tune I felt and how laser focused I was on the task at hand. But that's how I felt when I was watching this video, because I wasn't worried about, can I hear what the person is saying? Can I hear what they're saying over the tools? Wait, what did they just do? Or what tool was that they were using that he just said? Like, I feel like it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, I just sat there and I was just watching it, and I would see something that was like a really, really cool technique or a really cool tool. And I was like, that is so smart. I never thought about that. Like I was so laser focused on what the person was doing.
It made me think when you were saying earlier about New Yankee Workshop, that's very close to the way they do it. He'll stop and say, I need to make the stretchers for the so and so, and I need to make that out of 3/4. He'll say that's it. And then you see the tools down. It's never sped up video. It's always real time. You're always hearing all the tools. And he only talks when he needs to, like say like every paragraph. So it'd be good for you to see that, because I think that people that don't even build find that enjoyable. And I think the tool sounds are part of it. And it's funny you say that, because I've recently on my short videos and things, I've started adding another layer where I include the machine noise on top of, even if I put like little music back there, I'll still let the machine noise be heard. And I think it adds a lot of interest to it to have that.
Right.
So I agree. It's like a whole other dimension of interest when you can hear that cutting into the wood and that kind of thing.
Well, I almost felt kind of silly because I had watched some older Padula videos, but I watched his older videos after I discovered his newer stuff where he was talking. And initially, so I went from those videos where he's talking, and that guy is just such a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he's incredibly talented. But then to go from all that amazing information overload to, just seeing him work, I kind of felt the opposite. Because that was really my first time being exposed to that style of video. I'm just always used to the talking and all that stuff. So when I was watching these, I was just like, this is so awesome. Like this is so much more enjoyable. And then on top of that, like it's none of the BS, right? It's none of the ad reads. It's none of the, talking about like X brand in a certain way because you got to give them a shout out. It's just like, screw it. We're working. The only thing I'm concerned about, so I actually thought about, I've been filming everything on this nightstand. And I looked at Patrick and I was like, this actually might be the video that I do this. But I am a little concerned because I just unplugged the microphone in my camera. So like the camera itself is picking up the noise, but I know the camera's far enough away. So I feel like that may have been a mistake, because if I would have just had my microphone on next to me, it probably would have picked up those sounds of close by. So I'm a little nervous that it's just going to be a little bit too quiet the entire time, because that's the real kicker in those videos is these guys, like, they have a microphone very close by and you can really hear all of the things they're doing, whether they're chiseling, whether they're using a hand plane or whatever saw, or hitting something with a hammer. Like,
Right.
it's so crisp because it's recorded right there. So moving forward, I think this is something that I'm going to try. And the positive side to that is that, maybe I actually start putting a little bit more build videos on the channel.
Good.
But super cool.
Okay. I got a question for you, Jason.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to really talk about this. What struck you like lightning at IWF? What was your let's just say top 5 takeaways, or top five booths, top 5 innovations?
Say what IWF stands for. IWF. Is it International Wood Fair?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure everybody knew.
To be clear, I didn't spend a lot of time traveling around and going to a lot of booths. So I'll just, so what I say, people can listen to it, take it with a grain of salt. But I told myself that after I went to the last IWF that I would not go again unless I went with a brand. And that's exactly what happened. This time I went and worked with Grit Automation and Sedge. And can you guys say something real quick? I don't hear you. Hold on. I'll explain what happened in just a moment. Dang it. I'm connected to the TV now.
all
Tumble
this out
home
so long
almost.
ago. It's amazing.
Yep. Hello,
Yeah.
Chris Kraft.
Yes.
Oh, loud
All
and
right.
clear.
Can you guys
Mr.
hear me?
Ben.
Yes.
So it's the other day, excuse me, the other day I hooked my headphones up to the television in the living room, and Nicole just turned the TV on with Leo, and it immediately took off what we're doing and went directly to the television, and then it wouldn't show back up. So did
I've
you guys keep
attempted-
talking about like
Yeah, we
podcast
did.
stuff?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Good. So I don't have to cut any of this out.
Well, you'll have to
No.
cut out just the first part, probably just like a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got a little segment in between there, probably.
It
Okay.
was quiet. It was quiet for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll chop it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So what I was saying before that weird thing happened, I didn't spend a lot of time going to booths, but I did get to go to a few. And I would say that since I've already been to IWF, I do feel like I enjoyed this one a little bit more, mainly because I went there with a purpose. I knew what I was going there to do, and I knew where I was going to be. And I've already kind of experienced the floor, so I kind of had a better idea of how to navigate.
Mhm.
It's still a massive show. It's humongous. There's no way you'd be able to see everything. It'd be very difficult. However, I was very impressed, thoroughly impressed with Harvey.
Why?
Like, because they're the only company out there that's actually innovating. You know, there's all these other companies. I talked to Jack Shu, who's the owner of Harvey in Bridge City. They did a like a party for people on the first night that I was there. I believe it was Tuesday night. And he walked right up to me and we started talking, and I had seen some of the pictures. I hadn't gone to the booth yet, but I had seen some of the pictures of some of the new products, and I was really impressed. And I told him, I said, I honestly think that you guys are basically going to turn out to be like the next Powermatic, in a sense that Harvey is going to be that tool brand that everybody, for the large woodworking machinery, that everybody is looking towards. And everybody knows my history. Well, not everybody, but most people know my history with Harvey. I've had a lot of their tools. I don't have anything negative about their tooling itself. Our relationship just didn't continue the way that it was. But like Powermatic, you know, they don't really come out with cool new innovative things. Like none of them are coming out with new tools. Maybe they come out with a black coating on their tools, you know, and then that's like, oh, the new and improved. It's the same exact tool. Harvey's the opposite. Last year, at AWFS, I went to the event, the same party that they do, but they did it in Vegas. And Jack said he was going to release, I think, what did he say? 5 or 7 tools for this IWF. And sure enough, he did it. They have a new overarm dust collector, which is a massive upgrade from their old one, even though their old one was nice. They have the nickel plating on all of their table saws. They've incorporated AI technology into the bandsaw, into the table saw. They got like these digital readouts that monitor things within the machine. Their Big Eye rip fence is just incredibly nice. Probably one of the nicest fences that I've ever dealt with. They have that on the bandsaw. Their new bandsaw, every piece on the inside of it is nickel plated, which means nothing will rust on that machine. And so much so that they actually had a bottle of water on their table saw, which was half emptied onto the table saw for the entire show.
Whoa.
So what you're saying is you could use it underwater?
Yes, in case you ever needed to use it underwater.
Good.
Yeah. They have
SpongeBob needs a
waterproof
workshop.
electricity as well. That's a big
Oh.
innovation. Yeah. Yeah, huge.
Wireless electricity? Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, there must be channeling Nikolai Tesla.
That's what
The G800 Pro, the new dust collector that came out. So this was something that I actually didn't know when I first saw it. So it's quite a bit taller than the G700. I would say width-wise, it's about the same. It might even be a little bit more narrow, looking at it from the front. One One thing I was a little disappointed is that they didn't increase the bin size at all. I was just like, this is a much larger machine. Why not just increase the bin size just a little bit, But then when I went and looked at it, he turned it on, and Jack himself actually like showed me around the booth when I came by the next day after the event. And the inlet was on the right-hand side. And so when I saw it, I was initially like, oh, man, of course, I just had to go buy that Oneida. If I would have just waited it out, because, they wanted me to actually use that machine in my shop, but they said it was coming out in like the first quarter. And of course it didn't. So I was like, oh, well, now I'm glad I got the Oneida because I can change the direction of the inlet, which was a huge deal breaker for me. And now with this G800 Pro, it comes out the right side. I'm like, now this definitely wouldn't have worked. So, no worries. And I was at the beer garden, and there was a couple of our patrons there actually, that we were hanging out and having a couple of beers. And I mentioned something about that. And they said, well, yeah, but you can relocate the inlet to the top of the machine. I said, what? And they're like, yeah, that was one of the things that, everybody had complained about is the inlet location. So they made it to where you can put it in one of two locations. And I was like, you're telling me I could add pipe go directly into the top of the machine?
It's like like a microwave over the stove. You can change it to go out the top or the back.
Yeah. I was like, holy cow. So that was really, really cool. They came out with a self-leveling tool cart, like a mobile base. Self-leveling mobile base. You move your stuff around, you put it down, and it sits and it levels itself out.
That's cool.
Yeah, super cool. I actually think I'm going to get one of those for my bandsaw just because where it is kind of on a slope. So I was just very impressed. Like, I walked around, I saw the same tools I see from other companies all the time. But Harvey's stuff, and man, is it nice. Oh, the bandsaw. The bandsaw, they did something that I thought was absolutely brilliant. This has been a pet peeve of probably most people that use a bandsaw, and it's setting up the bearings for the blade.
Oh, yeah.
So, because it's either knobs, it's either Allen keys, and you got to push it in and like loosen this one and get it just right and figure all this stuff out and try to hold it in place while you tighten it down and pray it doesn't move. They did micro adjust bearing guides that you literally are just turning this little knob at any time. You can just turn this little knob and, move in a 32nd of an inch increments or whatever. I mean, it's micro adjust. Like, you can dial these things in so effortlessly. And I'm like, why does every brand not? Like, I looked at it and I didn't even notice it at first. I was like, what is this? And Jack looked at me and he said, it's micro adjust for the bearings. I said, this is how you adjust them? And he said, yes. And I'm like, every bandsaw should have these.
Yeah.
Every bandsaw.
I changed mine out to the Carter ones on the Powermatic that have the thumb screw. I don't think they're micro adjust, but it's much better than the factory. Huge improvement. Huge improvement.
And then these are a huge improvement over those.
I bet.
Well,
that's saying something because the Carter ones are great.
My Harvey, which was new 2 years ago, it has a cam that you can micro adjust it and get them styled in perfect. But then you have a locking knob. And you know how that works. You get them perfect, but when you lock them, it can't. These have little, but it's a micro adjust on a cam, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with them. But when you told me about the micro adjust and then no secondary locking, that's bad to the bone. That really is.
It was very impressive.
What is
that machine? It looks amazing too.
What size bandsaw was it you were looking at?
I don't know if it's probably a 16 or 17. Standard like all the other ones.
I have a 14 Powermatic, and I would like to get a second one for doing some more resawing and things like that.
This would be similar. It would be more comparable to Powermatic's larger bandsaw.
Okay, that's interesting.
It is so sharp looking though, man. I'm telling you, I was thoroughly impressed, and that nickel plating is really, really cool too. It looks great. So I actually think I've been talking about getting a new router table for a while, and for me it's been between the Woodpeckers, Jessam, and Harvey. Those are the three that I was looking at, and I've been leaning more towards the Harvey because of the cast iron top, like switching from a phenolic top to the cast iron, but now it has the nickel plating. Woodpeckers is third on my list, like that. Second, I think, but it's a tie between Jessam and Harvey at this point on which one I want to do. But even if I get the Harvey, I'm going to get the Jessam motor and all that other stuff and put it in there. But I absolutely think that Harvey is they're just killing it. I mean, they really, really are. They're killing it. Making some amazing, amazing tools. And he said at the party this time that his promise is that he's bringing 15 new tools to the market next year.
Wow.
Jeez, some
Yeah.
criminy.
It's a lot.
It's a whole lot. But
why do you think that it is like what you said? The Powermatic's probably a really good example. Probably, I mean, it's probably because I'm familiar with the brand, but you're right. I mean, there are joiners and things. There are things that have been out for 30, 40 years, and they don't really make changes, I guess, unless the market makes them make changes. Like if there's not availability of a motor or something like that, or they send it off to China, one of the things that's what they did with their table saw. But why is Harvey, and let's say also Ryobi or Ryobi, however you say it.
Okay.
Why
I know the
why are
answer.
they, I'm sure you all do, that's why I'm asking, but why are they able to evolve and throw out so much stuff? Is there less red tape? Like they're able to just constantly roll out things.
Well, there's a lot of companies over the years where they have great stuff and they know it. And they go, okay. And I truly believe, and this is only my opinion, it's their leadership. They go, okay, and they sit back and they don't and they fall asleep at the switch. Where somebody like a Harvey comes in and cleans clocks because guess what? They're hungry.
right.
That's my opinion.
No,
and that is the void of what I do for a living. But
I
I've
think
seen
that's
it
a good
with
example.
a lot of brands.
Yeah, that happens in the restaurant world.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurant, like off the top of my head, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, they said that was what hurt them is they knew they had a good product and they just didn't evolve. And then other places so similar to them came in and just started, you said, like sweep the floor with them, and they're trying to play catch up.
And that,
So it's,
yes,
yeah,
you, oh, I can name 6, 7 right now, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to.
yeah, that's
They have
interesting.
they still have a great product, but another company sees that and they go, oh, we can make that a lot better than they do. And
Mm,
hello, next thing you know, they're playing catch up.
yeah,
And I
interesting.
truly believe it's leadership asleep at the switch.
That makes sense. Because
You
it
know,
costs a lot of money to develop new tools and
uh-huh.
a lot of like
Well,
patents and all those things.
And
mean, that's
hello, investment.
Yeah, investment.
R&D is there's a
Huge.
lot of stuff I could tell you at
Huge.
Festool that never made it to daylight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that there's
That
a
is-
lot to be said for some of these older companies probably have very particular values and people running the company that have been doing it a certain way for many number of years, and they're not on board with the social media side of things and how media can elevate a business. And so it's the same reason why you'll get these companies that are like, yeah, we don't do anything like that. Like we're not interested in working with people on YouTube or anything like that. And it's like, okay, well, your company is going to fall behind all these other companies that
Mhm.
are doing it because that's how this world is now, right? And so
Right.
I think Harvey is still a relatively young company,
uh-huh.
and they are very adamant about the social media side of things, and they've seen tremendous growth since COVID. And I think that they're just eager to continue to put the next best thing on the market.
In the power tool business, we called it the old boy network.
I know
this is the way it's been done for a long time, boy.
I know of a perfect example just popped in my head. The Crown Victoria was the police car.
Yes.
And I heard from police affiliated people that they started going to them and saying, this car doesn't have enough power. It doesn't handle enough. We're trying to catch these other cars that are much faster than us. And they refused to innovate that car. They kept it the same for like 20 years, 25 years. It did not change. And then all of a sudden you look around now and cops are using Explorers, Chargers. There's a list of like 5 different brands that they're using now. And if Crown Vic just had listened to their customers and like evolved, they could have kept that police market that they had, but they've lost it now. It's gone. And the reason why it's so at the top of my head is I used to be so amazing at spotting those taillights in my rearview mirror. The headlights, I could spot them a mile away. And now you don't know you don't know what anything is. You never know what's crazy. Because those little Ford Explorers look like every other little SUV on the road.
Yep.
And but because they didn't evolve, that's what happens. So I think you're in a point where you're a company, you are, if you're complacent and you think, oh, we've got it, let's just sit back, that's when you're going to get passed up.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to every single company.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's so impressive about Gerstner that last week. I already had did research and saw it, but she talked about it. They're constantly innovating and trying things constantly to see what flies, see what sells. And that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And you got to be flexible with the times.
Yeah. Cause things change.
And sometimes it's really tough to play catch up.
Yep. That's true. So true. What else? What other than Harvey? What else did you like?
I mean, honestly, I have really nothing else to point out other than that. I mean, obviously, I spent time at Salice's booth, and I think, their George Slide product is, I mean, the feedback on that has been remarkably good. But I mean, like I said, I didn't really go to a ton of different booths to like actually look at the stuff. I was just so incredibly impressed with the tools that Harvey has released. Like I said, you go to all these other ones, it's the same crap. It's just there so you can look at it. I mean, it's just great stuff. And if they're thinking about doing 15 tools next year, I'm going to go off on a limb, and they're probably already working on it. I'm very surprised that Harvey does not have a jointer or a planer, but I would not be surprised if next year they release that. And if they do, and they are a full tool line brand, which there are not many of them, if anybody was to ask me right now, I mean, I love Powermatic tools. I've owned various Powermatic things. I love the saw stop table saw. I love my hammer equipment. It's great stuff, right? But if somebody, hammer, joiner planer combos and sliding table saws aren't for everybody. But if somebody was to ask me now, like what brand, especially like a beginner woodworker or somebody even like intermediate, like myself, or even advanced, I would probably say you need to be looking at Harvey. Because when it comes to price and quality for what you get and the features that they have that nobody else does, it's tough to beat. It's really tough to beat. So I was very impressed. But overall, I had a good time at IWF. And, we'll see next year. Probably head out to AWFS for a couple of days, maybe with a brand again.
I might be out there.
Yeah. I'm on my way because I said last time when I was with you, I'm like, I'm not coming out here unless it's with a brand again. I had 4 companies reach out to me, ask me if I was coming. So I'm on my way. I'm not quite there, but they just want to know if I was going to be there or not. Okay. Just wondering if you're going to be there.
It's actually the thing that I noticed this time, it's far easier to get brands to foot the bill for influencers to come out to the shows now. I feel like they're a lot more open to it.
It's a write-off.
Yeah.
I mean, I just asked. I was like, hey, do you guys...
Travel's a write-off.
Yeah, I like the idea of spending a certain amount of hours, but I don't like the idea of being with the whole entire time. So that's where I fall.
That's the great thing about going I did, is that you make up what you're going to do. So I'll come hang out with you for one day from 10 to 2.
Yeah. So you guys make me laugh. You go, Sedge, you don't like all those shows. And I go, it's because, of course, I work for a brand. You
have to be there the whole time.
I don't see, how is the show? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been in that booth for 8 hours.
Yes.
I get a break, but I don't take it because I don't want to be away from the booth. I may miss something. The only break I have is usually 5 minutes to the bathroom, 5 minutes back.
Mhm.
And I don't care. I always have a great time at the shows, but I really don't see anything. And at the end of the show, everybody wants to go out to dinner. You know what I want to do? I want to go to bed.
Mhm. It wears you out for sure.
And
Going
now
a
it
whole
and
day.
and nowadays they say, "Have a good night, sleep, Sedge." They
Yeah.
they know because I'm very insistent. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. You got to have a
Okay.
lot of energy to do that all day.
Oh my God. And the other thing too is the one show I love, I'm always the busiest at, but I can't go to sleep right away.
JLC.
JLC, baby. And nowadays, do I go out to dinner with the people from Festool? No, I go out with you two knuckleheads and all our patrons, and it's so much daggone fun.
It is fun.
Oh my
It is.
God.
I am
Oh,
starting to notice since you mentioned that, like at the end of the day, you just want to be done. So when I was with Grit, I was in the Grit booth from 10 to 3. That was my agreement with the brands. I'll come to the booth from 10 a.m. to 3. That gives me time to sleep in, maybe hit a couple of booths in the morning, and then gives me a couple of hours to walk around afterwards. But we went to dinner, and when we got done with dinner, it was 9 o'clock or whatever. And
Jesus.
the night before, I was up really freaking late. And they looked at me, they're like, "Oh, you want to go to the bar?" And I'm like, honestly, no.
No.
Because being around people all day long,
Mhm.
and I used to not be this way, but the last year I've started to get this way, talking and saying the same thing over and over and over again, having the same conversations, being around people. At the end of the day, there is nothing better than just going back to your room and being in complete silence and not having to talk to anybody.
Why do you think I get a couple of beers and make sure they're nice and cold in the room?
Yeah.
Jason, you made me laugh so hard inside this year at JLC because how often do you repeat everything? And you
It's
looked
over
at
and
me,
over
I go,
again.
"Hey, let's go." And to you, I said, "Let's go." And you went, "I just want to go back to the room." And I said, "Welcome to my world, dude."
Yeah.
But you know what? That's cool. And nowadays, not at JLC, but if I do a demo day, I'll say to the sales manager I'm with, "Hey guys, hey, let's go have a couple." And I'll go, "Hey, let's why don't you guys just drop me off? Or I'm just going to go back to the hotel." And I go, "Really?" I go, they all think I'm not feeling good. No, I want my peace and quiet. There's two words I don't want to hear. Hey, Sedge.
Yeah.
Right. But I think you guys know I love people. And
Oh, for sure.
when I'm in that booth, I want to talk, and demonstrate all day long. I want to see
Yeah.
people smile. I want to see people get the product. Oh, that's why. Hey, and I want to take their money.
Yeah.
I love working in that booth at JLC because we're with US Tool and Fastener, and it's freaking awesome. And
It
those
is
people
cool.
are just so thankful.
Yeah.
It's a great team of people. That'd be a very cool company to work for. I can tell.
I think
It's
so.
like they have some really good. They have a good team there, and they all get along really nice. You can tell. It's really cool.
Yep. Hey
Well,
guys, you know what? You know what's really funny? I think the sponsor. I think this podcast was brought to you by everybody who sells tools and manufactures tools
yeah.
and epoxies.
At West System, yeah.
West System, Total Bow,
Total Boat. We
everybody
talked
was
about all the
mentioned.
products.
And
Mini
then I put on my,
Peckers.
and then you're drinking out of a Festool mug. You get a Festool hat, and I put on my Fulton Fine Woodworking hat.
Yeah.
But it's what's really funny? We all talk about what we like to use in our shops.
Mhm.
That's all.
Yeah.
And I think
I was going to say to Jason's point, I think it's a good reminder to me not to get caught up in the same brand. Like I went
Mhm.
down a Powermatic
Absolutely.
path for a long time, and that I wouldn't have even considered Harvey if Jason hadn't just said that on the podcast.
Mhm.
It's what I was like, well, I know Powermatic, I trust it, but his interest in Harvey makes me want to, okay, I want to consider that too,
The Harvey bandsaw I have is to die for. What's that plating I have? The titanium plating?
copper.
Yeah. No, I can't remember, but yeah, it may
10.
be.
It's 10. No, I
Yeah.
think
It's
it's
aluminum.
titanium coating. I've had that for 2 years. I didn't put any wax or anything on it. Not a speck of rust. Never any corrosion. No, and no oxidation at all. It's amazing. But do I use it every weekend? No, I use it. I use it once, twice a month. I love that bandsaw.
One thing
You
that I'm
know.
worried about is, I have the hammer, and I'm like you. I very rarely ever use it. Like I'm going to use it for the first time in months on this chessboard that I make. But
I got to use mine soon.
it's like when I saw the Harvey one, I was like, man, I would swap out the freaking hammer for this new Harvey in a heartbeat. Like I absolutely would. Like I
Wow.
was so impressed with it. Like it was, their stuff is
You-
just very, very good
Do you think
looking.
you think Harvey's coming out with an over under?
I don't know. I really
They
don't.
should, because that I think everybody's going with over unders for
I did get invited to China by Jack.
Oh wow!
Yeah, to come check out the facility. So we'll see what comes of that. And I got invited to Italy as well by
Ooh,
Salice.
Oh,
ooh.
Italy.
So we shall see.
Ooh.
Maybe I'll have a couple of
Yeah.
international trips next year.
There's
But
some mozzarella.
I'm gonna have to hop off here because Nicole is ready to go do her workout.
I
and
got to
be-
go see
be with the
Itchy Tani
boys.
there. I want to go check that out.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 152 of the greatest podcast that has ever been created by man. Bye bye.